You ever think, Bell, that people are texting us, but they're listening to somebody else?
Oh, yeah. It's actually, it's been a few years now since we've had the text line, and I've thought that from the start.
It's weird. Like, people are like, this guy's talking about the Libertarian Party. And I'm like, the Libertarian Party? What did we do? There's like 8 of us, right? And we all end up voting for a Republican or a Democrat. So, I mean,
and remember, you're never a real libertarian until another libertarian has told you that you're not a real libertarian.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I voted for Trump. Just because, wouldn't you like to have different choices that are across the board better all the time compared to normally what we get? I mean, let's be real. Normally what we get is... So, but I voted for Trump. I want him to succeed. You can have criticism. Somebody says, we can't have... We're the reason you can't have nice things? I don't really understand. I'm telling you, I don't think...
you know what libertarians have never done?
What?
Added a single red cent to the debt.
That's true. That's true. This administration has. But don't worry, it's going to be fine. It'll be fixed. We got this. We got this. This is going to happen, man. This is going to happen. Speaking of happening, Trump said, go now. Go, Pam Bondi. Go get the names. Go get the grand jury. Unseal it. It's hermetically sealed. Get it unhermetically sealed.
The grand jury records.
What?
Get permission first.
You got to get permission. That's the whole point.
The grand jury records in question belong not to the Justice Department, but to the court. To get them unsealed, prosecutors will have to go to a judge with a firm legal rationale. Even though Jeffrey Epstein has been dead for 6 years, there's a broader principle the court will have to consider. Grand jury secrecy is extremely important to the system. It ensures witnesses and victims can testify truthfully about crimes without fearing reprisals.
Yeah. That's it's going to be tough, but it's convenient. Go now to the grand jury and get this done. And then what? Nothing. Because nothing's going to happen. They hope to release some. Why not all? Well, what about the names? We know some of the names, so that doesn't mean anything. Some of them we don't need to know. That's absolutely true. And what are the reprisals? What's the fear? Obviously, there must be some deep statey type like stuff out there if people are worried. Yeah, because these bad people that did bad things. Who are the other people outside of the dead guy? That's what I think people kind of want to know. And the whole thing about, like, I hear people talking about this stupid letter, the birthday letter. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't care. So before any of the craziness went down, before he was arrested, before he was convicted, before he got the sweetheart deal, everybody knew they were friends. And then they broke up a year later after that thing because they were fighting over a condo, a piece of property. A piece of property. It's fantastic property. You've never seen property like this ever. So we'll see what it looks like. I mean, he says, I'm going to sue, by the way. That's a big thing. He's suing the Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal over this. He's not going to sue. He's not. What are you going to sue for? I mean, he may sue, but he's not winning anything.
Hurt feelings.
Oh, that sucks. Is it the drawing? I want to see the drawing.
I do too.
So for those of you out there, he's like, he doesn't draw. He does draw. You can go look. Actually, the interesting thing, Trump doodles a lot. And every year he gives away his doodles to charities so they can auction it off for money, which I think is pretty darn cool. You know, a lot of what it is, though, is skylines. Like, I want to own this, and then I want to own this, and then I want to own this. And I want to have this. Who would have thought a dead guy could tell tales? Well, he may or may not. I don't know. And I don't know if I trust the Department of Justice. I don't know if I trust Pam Bondi. I don't know if I trust the powers that be, because they talked a lot and they did very little. And that's a them thing. Most of you, some of you will support Trump no matter what. Doesn't matter. some of you have questions because of the nature of what we're talking about, which is awful. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, but you'd have to be blind not to go, this guy had his hands in a lot of stuff. Take Trump out of it for a second. And he put himself squarely in it. I mean, that was kind of his thing. He put himself in there. This was a completely avoidable thing. But take Trump out of it. How is it that a guy could do the things that this guy did with the money he had, how nobody had any idea how he got the money, was able to do awful things, to traffic women, supposedly, allegedly, whatever, and get away with it for all these years and not have help doing so? How has he got powerful men? Some of the most powerful people on the planet to give up power of attorney to their life. Is not curious about any of those things? I mean, in the movies, we would have just got Liam Neeson and he would have went because he's got a particular set of skills that make him a nightmare for people like this. But we don't live in that. We live in the real world.
Well, first, let's say this is a self-inflicted, as we call in politics, an unforced error, because we're only talking about this particular issue. The Epstein files have only been elevated in the way that they have because of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement. It goes directly to the heart of what has rallied them for 10 years, that there are these elites that are corrupt, that are colluding together. There are these pedophilia rings, all these things that seem very far-fetched, but this is something that goes to, again, the heart of what people who are QAnon, MAGA believe. So that is why this is such an issue. And Donald Trump and people like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and lots of people that currently work for the president that he hired, they elevated these conspiracy theories. I also want to note, though, Epstein's crimes were real. And his victims are really real. So the conspiracy has all this conversation around it.
And the Democrats, they came to this late because they thought it was a conspiracy theory. Like a lot of people, even the average Republican and stuff, that thought a lot of this stuff was kind of a conspiracy. They didn't get behind it. But now that it's come out in the way that it's come out, and why this is becoming an issue is because Trump made it an issue. This was an unforced error in the way that he then went after the Democrats, and it's all fake and it's all a hoax and stuff, and then attacked everybody else. But then it got into, like a year or two ago, if they were talking about this would have got nothing at all. Nothing. And nobody would have talked anything about this in the mainstream media. But now it's jumped over from politics to pop culture. From powerful people to, oh my goodness, this is one of those docuseries that's on Netflix and Amazon and Hulu. And, that's what this has become. The things that your girlfriend or your wife watches when you get home and like, I'm watching this because we know that a lot of women, I don't know, I think they're trying to kill men, trying to figure out how to do it. That's why they watch those ID shows. This is what this has become. And that's out of his reach of control. Because it's the low information voter, not idiots, just don't care. They're more focused on, like we were talking about earlier, the CEO of that company at the Coldplay concert and him cheating on his wife than they are of the everyday average, bill that's getting passed about crypto or any of that stuff.
And that was more shocking than when they put it on like a brother and a sister who they expect to kiss.
That was so if you guys haven't seen it, it's got millions of views. It's a dude who's a CEO of some company, Astronomer or whatever it is. I think it's a space company. And it's his HR lady. And they're at a concert and they put the kiss cam up and oh my God, he is married. She's not. I think she's divorced with kids, but they weren't supposed to be together, if you know what I mean. So,
and they certainly weren't meant to be hugging each other.
No,
it's one thing if you go to a concert with your boss. It's another thing if your boss is hugging you on the kiss cam.
You know what's interesting? Think about that. What if you were caught there? You weren't doing anything wrong, but you didn't want to take your wife to see Coldplay or whatever band that you went and saw. Well, how would she feel? What if you found out, like, your wife went and saw, AC/DC, and you love AC/DC, but she didn't go with anybody. She went with a couple friends, but they weren't there to do anything or watch the music. They just didn't take you because they didn't want you to go.
She's probably one of those women that watches murder porn a lot and is trying to figure out how to kill you and get away with it.
Yeah. That's it. That's how I always think watching those things. Those women are just taking notes. All right, don't do that. Make sure you do that. If you're going to do this, definitely don't do that. Oh, man. It was the Karen Reed story. I mean, there's a perfect example of a crossover. The same people that were out in front of the Karen Reed trial are the same people now that are paying attention to this. Because it's got sex, it's got power, it's got espionage, it's got a little bit of politics, it's got the crime aspect, murder, suicide. It's untold and it's a mystery, so it could branch off in 20 different places, which is, not what this president wants. He wants to talk about wins. I want to talk about wins. I want wins. We should all want wins. And one of those wins, though, should be holding people accountable, especially people who are powerful, who can do anything they want with impunity.
The grand jury testimony is largely about Epstein and Maxwell, not about all the rich and powerful men who abused, assaulted, and abandoned young women. Those people are still being protected. And by the way, the courts usually don't release grand jury testimony.
Which is why they're saying going to the grand jury, because the grand jury doesn't release it. Trump has the opportunity to say, well, I wasn't involved in anything and I can't get them to change that. That's not what they're going to do. What about all those files? What about all those things? And again, the payouts, people saying, why aren't the women talking? The payouts were hush money. And they had to sign all kinds of paperwork basically saying, if you talk, we're going to come for you. So, I mean, to show you the power that they have, to give you guys an understanding, here to pull, Condé Nast was arguably the biggest. So if you guys understand Condé, they're a publisher. The most powerful, I mean, they published everything. They got them to kill stories about this. They got them to kill stories about Epstein because they were afraid. They've been around for 116 years. And
makes you wonder what's going on right now that we're going to learn about down the road that isn't being reported for one reason or another.
Oh, totally. Or so crazy. And we all think about, what about the spies who do certain things, the spies that are over there in other parts of the world doing stuff that is just abhorrent, and, we're able to kind of sleep better at night and we just don't really want to think about it kind of thing. That's not this. That's not that kind of spies. That's not this kind of stuff. This was information. This was potential blackmail. And by the way, potential blackmail and holding something over the heads of maybe our leaders, if they have stuff, to get them to do things that aren't in our best interest. We should all want to know that, as well as holding everybody accountable. Coming up, talk about other stuff. Hi, it's Mark. Hey, Mark, what's going on? That guy's named Mark. Look at Mark in there. Fun.
Apparently your name's been changed to Mark.
Yeah. Why did somebody call you Mark?
Ask him where you got that drink.
He wants to know where you got that beverage.
I have another one if you'd like it.
He said he has another one if you'd like it.
Well, I had one in the refrigerator.
He's upset because he had one in the refrigerator and somebody stole his beverage. And you don't mess with Mark and his power drinks.
No, I don't. So sorry, Mark, if that was yours.
Am I right?
I just had a bunch of ghosts in there. I grabbed one. It is the Chad Benson Show. See, we're talking about drinks
He's accusing
here.
you of stealing his beverage.
Super Talk 997. Oh, I like that. Shane Gillis. Oh, it was funny the other night. He was offensive. So the DHS secretary is in town. It's interesting. She's hammering Freddie. Oh, Freddie. Oh, Freddie. Yeah, she tore him up. Conference focused on what the department describes as exposure of the worst criminal, illegal immigrants in the state. Get them out. Period. Case closed. Get them out. Should be it. Get them out. They're bad dudes, bad hombres, Look, you know what? If they're bad ladies, too, because we don't want to leave the ladies off. We want to make sure that the ladies are, because we are an equal opportunity. Don't think. There's been some bad lady. Griselda Blanco. If you guys don't know who she is, she was the queen of cocaine. There's some bad ladies out there. So just want you guys to know that.
Cocaine is her god.
It is her god. If you guys don't know, still the greatest. Are we still on Rumble? Is that thing still holding up?
Oh, yeah, we're on Rumble. Just 997WTN.com. You can find us there.
Rumbling around. It's what we do. It's pretty awesome. But, yeah, so DH Secretary also pissed off at Freddie O'Connell for doxing the ICE agents. And which is doxing anybody is horrific. But, you know, you ever watch like the foreign countries, in particular like Mexico and parts of South American countries, the reason that they wear masks is because they know what happens in certain situations to them and their families. Now, do I think it's to the extent, I mean, we don't have the cartels doing that, but we have a different kind of way of doing it, blasting you on the internet, trying to destroy your life, getting your wife and family fired, that kind of lunacy that these people, and yes, some people who are unhinged that are out there. So she's here today. Sure, Mark or Matt, whatever his name is, I took his drink. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Because I bought drinks. I've had them in there. I just go in and I grab one, and I didn't even think about it because I've had this one, the same one. But I said, take my other one. Teamwork, baby. That's what we're all about here. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, and you made it whole, and he's all happy now.
He is happy.
He went from being grumpy to happy.
Yeah, I think the one that he took may be better. We don't know. And that one is very patriotic. Coming up. A lot of stuff still to get to. We're going to try to squeeze some stuff in. Felix Baumgartner. You don't know the name. Felix Baumgartner. Fearless Felix. Something happened to him. We'll talk about that. He's the guy that jumped out of... If you're missing the show, that's the one way up there. Remember that guy? Wait to hear what happened to him. And it is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. You remember Felix Baumgartner? Went up in the balloon. So they called him Fearless Felix. Went up into the balloon all the way to space and jumped.
Daredevil Felix Baumgartner was killed yesterday in a paragliding accident. Now the first human being to break the sound barrier without a vehicle is being remembered for his many incredible feats. He's the man who went to the edge of space and jumped. Felix Baumgartner, known for death-defying stunts, killed in a motorized paragliding accident along the Italian coast yesterday. Local officials say the 56-year-old Austrian crashed into the side of a hotel pool. Known as Fearless Felix, Baumgartner gained international acclaim for his heart-pounding 24-mile jump from the edge of space, seen in these videos from sponsor Red Bull, the first skydiver to fall faster than the speed of sound.
So he crashed into the side of the hotel, but now they're saying he was dead before he hit the ground. He had fallen ill, probably had a massive heart attack, and then slammed in, and looks like he broke that guy's neck he hit. That guy, have you ever seen some of the other stuff he's done? Because we only know him as the Red Bull guy that jumped out of the thing, but the dude did all kinds of crazy stuff going back decades, because that's what people who like to jump out of things do.
So my plan is to climb out on that window washer crane and do a base jump from top of that building.
And that wasn't his only feat. In 1999, he set the world record for highest parachute jump from atop the Petronas Towers in Malaysia. In 2003, he flew across the English Channel in a wingsuit.
Then in 2007, this stunning base jump from the 85-foot arm of the Christ the Redeemer statue in Brazil.
His longtime sponsor, Red Bull, is remembering him as a lovely person devoted to his family and friends.
Wow.
So we had that guy last week who's one of the best base jumpers in the world. He died in the wingsuit. It's just not a shock. But this was paragliding. It's like, it's one of those things you do on vacation.
Yeah, those things have motors, right?
Yeah. But then
it's like a hang glider, but it's got a seat and a motor on
yeah,
it. Right?
Yeah. And the one he was driving, you sit in it, but it's got the motor's one of those, you know, those boats that are on, like, you know, out in Alligator, Alcatraz, that
Yeah.
But it has that. And they said he fell ill and he was dead before he hit the ground. So obviously it was a heart attack thing, you would think. So you never know,
That's
man.
kind of scary. I mean, he was in pretty good shape.
Pretty good shape. Well, you put your body through so much.
Well, that's true.
And I'm sure those guys like to imbibe and stuff over time. You know what I mean? If you guys haven't heard, last night, a giant announcement was made in the world of entertainment. What happened?
Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. And yeah, I share your feelings.
That's right. Colbert's going away. Not just Colbert, though. It's a dead industry, the talk show industry. Why? Because the talk show industry has never been more alive than it is now. You know, the variety, okay, maybe not bands, but, you know, you don't need this anymore. You don't. It's super expensive. The entire entertainment industry has changed, and it changed in several ways. First, you know, I mean, the film industry has been around for 100 years, and that's going away. It's only going to be a very few blockbusters that ever see the theaters in the coming years. Industry itself is changing with AI. All of that stuff has changed everything.
How are the theaters going to support that kind of limited? I mean, they got to have stuff to show. They can't just get by on one or two blockbusters a year.
No, I think what they're going to do is they're going to figure out a way how to incorporate more of the different kind of media into their places. And I think they're also going to consolidate. I think that's going to happen. You'll still get movies, but you're not going to get the amount of movies that we used to have. You used to be able to go to a theater and they would have 20 theaters, 25 theaters, and you look around and you go, okay, I can see 16 different movies. Now it might be 10 theaters with 5 different movies, but the movie experience will be more expensive, but it'll be more than just go sit and have some popcorn.
Yeah.
Because that's
it's like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with Ken, where, you know, you go to see a movie now, you want the experience where you can get dinner and sit in a recliner and all those the fancy things that are way beyond just going and sitting in a bucket seat.
And people also want this. They want their media personalized now. One of the things that my other company, Michael and I, are working on with several big shows as well is personalized media, meaning you take, let's just say you like, I don't know, what's your favorite kind of comic action thing?
You mean, are
like
you
Star
talking about
Wars? Like, you know.
Oh, yeah, I mean, a huge Star Wars fan.
Yeah. So imagine having AI where you can personalize media where, let's say you like Boba Fett. Well, they're following kind of Boba Fett story, but what if you like somebody in that thing and they're only in it sporadically, but you're curious about them? You could, through this new generative AI, create your own stories that go along with it. You could get paid for it, as well as the IP owners get paid for it, without them doing anything. It's the whole world has changed.
Could I do a re-edit on The Force Awakens where at the end of it, Luke throws the lightsaber at Rey instead of over his shoulder?
Yes, you can. And that's just it. If that's what you wanted to happen, you can. And the thing is, if you have an IP like that, where because it's their IP, but you personalizing for something that you wanted to see, oh my goodness, now what? Well, now you can make money if people like your idea and they go watch that ending or whatever. But on top of that, the IP gets to make money. Everything's going to be personalized. Everything.
And they don't have to spend any money making the content.
That's it. That's it. And while like you go, all these writers are like, oh my God, it's awful. It's horrible. The actors like, it's the worst. For them, in some ways it is. Hollywood's like, we want to make sure we're protected from AI. You know what they're doing right now? They're working with companies like my uncle and I who are doing things where they're coming to us. It's a race right now to figure out who can have the best AI, the most realistic AI. That's crazy. Stephen Colbert was doing a show where it's old, it's done, it's expensive. Nobody's watching it. 1.2 million people a night, maybe up to 2 million at best. That nobody's watching it. There's too much going on and too many ways to personalize the things you want to do. And for things like music, everybody's like, what about music? Well, we've talked about music. The reach with music has never been bigger. Media's never been bigger. Entertainment's never been bigger. It's just fragmented, and you've got to find it. What's that? Is it the Tiny Desk concert? Have you seen that?
No. What are you talking about?
I think it's for those you know, it's an NPR thing. It's called Tiny Desk. They play, so they'll bring.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, it's a feature they do with artists. Yeah.
So it's so cool that people are going to and watching that. And if you've never seen it, I saw one the other day, and I forgot who it was. Oh God, he's in everything. He's on just about every song, but he had his band in there. And if you've never seen it, imagine having a full band in almost a closet, but they're all playing, and it's hilarious. And they talk a bit about the songs. This is where the media world is. He's old school. You can go get your music, your media, everywhere else. Now people want to go and watch the Rogans of the world and people like that, where they can have real conversations, have fun, talk about wacky stuff, not just go, so tell me about your new movie. And even that, I was telling Belle today, so I got up early, as I do, to do my national show. I know if some of you are like, oh my God, you're on other stations. I am. So I got up early and was turning my computer on, and I'm looking, responding to some TikToks and stuff that, people had, commented on or something that I did. Then I went and I flipped up, like as you scroll, and it's a live. So you can do a live, thing on TikTok, and it's Sylvester Stallone. And there's like 10 of us. And everybody's just asking him questions about Rocky, your start, fun stuff in the business. I'm like, hey, Cobra was awesome. What about that cameo you made in Saturday Night Fever or whatever? That reach of one of the biggest movie stars of all time. And he's there talking to 10 people as he's sipping coffee in whatever cafe he was in Europe somewhere. You just don't get that. You don't need these shows anymore. And some of it, maybe it's a little politics for Colbert because they're trying to get a merger through. A lot of people are complaining about that, but you're not making money. You cost a lot, and you're at the point where you've gone from making millions to making a few million to getting close to being break even. I mean, you could have revamped that show for, $15 million in a year and still done a decent job. But it was $200 to $250 million a year to keep that thing going. So, no. I don't think it was politics like they're claiming. Coming up, Matt, whatever his name is, he'll join us next as we sit here and talk about God knows what on accident. I stole his drink, and he'll probably scold me for that, but I did make it up to him. I promised I would, and I did, darn it. We'll talk to him straight ahead. Chad Benson, Show, Super Talk 99.7. Oh, tragedy indeed. Tragedy indeed. Oh, my Lord. Mark's here. Why would somebody call you Mark the other day?
I don't know. Apparently, he had called me Mark in the past, and I've lived in my home for 2.5 years. We've had multiple conversations. You know how it goes. You see him in the yard. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? You talk, and by the mailbox or whatever. And apparently, I am Mark to him. So he gets the first 2 letters right. I mean,
there you go.
I guess C- for effort, I suppose.
There's a salesperson here that's called me improperly for 10 years.
I mean, your name is Bilal.
No, but nobody calls me that. It's always Bell, but for some reason she calls me Bells.
Bells?
Yeah.
Is she being cute?
Maybe she's coming on to you.
No. I've corrected
Read
her,
the
but-
room, Bell.
Oh, stop
Bells.
it. She's
Bells.
Hey, Bells,
woman.
read the room. Read the room, Bells.
Maybe she's hoping you ask her out. What do you think?
I think her husband might have an issue with that.
It doesn't matter. Take her to a Coldplay concert.
Coldplay's coming to town.
Are they?
They're in town Tuesday.
Oh,
so
man.
all of you married folk that
You want
know,
a little
whatever.
strange? Take them to the Coldplay concert.
I think that's right, but Bells isn't that correct? Why do I look to Bell for all concert information? Because he used to be a music director and all of that. And he's officially out. He's behind me, but he's out. I can tell.
I got tickets to Ghost.
Nice. They're a
I'm
hard
excited.
rock band.
Yes, Bell, the only human being on the planet that would list his favorite bands as number 1 ABBA, number 2 Ghost.
That's an odd deal.
When
I was a kid growing up, my first 2 albums, you guys ready for this? Puff the Magic Dragon and Devo Whip It.
A little variety there.
I stand by my assertion. I've been on this for the last 40 years that Whip It is one of the finest songs ever written in American history. I mean,
Fantastic.
or world history. I don't know. Is Devo? Where are they
Devo.
from? Are they from America?
They're American.
Are they? They had plants
LA,
on.
yeah.
Yeah,
they wore
planters on their
potted
head?
plants
Yeah.
on their head. They thought that would be hilarious. They didn't want them to wear it in the video, but they did anyways.
Well.
Mark Mothersbaugh. And if
the
you
80s.
like to listen to some of his great music, he is the guy that has put together a vast majority of the Rugrats. That's what he does now.
Like the animated series?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
You got to find a little niche.
He found a niche.
Roll with it.
Yeah.
I bet that pays good.
I've paid stupid good.
I would imagine that it does.
So what are you talking about today, Mark?
So Mark is going to get into, obviously, Kristi Noem was in town. We will discuss her presence in town, opening up some new facilities out at the B&A airport, not allowing. And Justin Jones just demonstrates yet again that he is a failed performance artist in the Democrat Party because he can't even get the performance art right.
I mean, but if you've never seen performance art too, have you ever seen wacky performance art, like real performance art?
I have.
It is.
I've engaged in it.
It is. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Back in college.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I was a theater major. I helped do all that kind of crap.
Man.
Like the fine arts students would want to do some sort of performance art, like in the quad.
Yeah.
And they needed people to help them do it. And so you get, there was one time where I get painted all yellow, and I just had to sit on a mound and not move and not say anything to anybody because I represented like envy or something. I don't know.
Wait a minute. You got painted yellow like a member of the Blue Man Group?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, like completely.
Because he was doing it for art.
It was art. That's right.
I love the people that do stuff like where they'll build a sandcastle and they'll knock a piece of it over and then everybody's all.
Oh yeah. Or did you see the banana that sold for like $6 million?
Fantastic.
I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Or the woman who, now this is actually pretty good. Now some of this will slide into it gets pretty good. Where the woman who was sitting, and I think this happened at the Museum of Modern Art in New York, but she toured it around, where she would sit in a room by herself in a chair, and there's a chair in front of her, and you could come, and for 2 minutes, you could sit with her.
That was it?
In the art installation.
I remember
you
that.
Remember
that?
that?
Yeah.
But then, and she would just remain emotionless and motionless. And, so people would like mess with her or try to get her to break or whatever, and she wouldn't do it. And then after months of her doing this, like 8 hours a day, one of her ex-lovers, who she had not seen in 30 years, like apparently the love of her life, comes in and if you've never seen this, see it, because it will strike you, because she realizes who it is and the tables turn on her and she starts weeping, openly. She doesn't move. She starts openly weeping.
Wow.
It's pretty powerful.
Man, look at that.
So how about that?
Look at that. That seems emotional more than wacky performance art. And Justin Jones isn't good at it.
He's an idiot. So then there was the one, have you seen the machine that is designed to leak oil, but it's programmed to,
there's all kinds of some of it is there was a guy who got shot. That was his performance art.
Yeah, that's probably stupid.
You're just like, what it represents you're stupid.
Yes.
And then people are all,
oh yeah,
you got to clap.
Oh yeah, you got to do you got to do your thing.
this.
But so Justin Jones, and here's the thing: I've talked to enough. I haven't talked to all of them. Some of them won't talk to me, but I've talked to enough Democrats in the state of Tennessee, and they know what Justin Jones is. He's all about Justin Jones. He's all about self-aggrandizement, and that's what he's trying to do. So we'll talk a little about
because he realizes the crazier, wackier, louder you are, the more opportunity to get out these shows and and grow your brand.
And the speaking of the Democrats snatching victory from the jaws of defeat or defeat from the jaws of victory, I always get it wrong. How Democrats overplay their hand and give Trump advantage on the Epstein stuff. That is coming up. My take on the way.
Here we go. Straight ahead. You guys have a good week, and we'll be back on Monday. Mark's next.